The marketing and the branding of any school has to start off with asking the question, where are we right now? If I was to turn around to you and say, I want you to drive to Sydney, the first thing you think is, well, where am I right now? If I'm in Brisbane, I'm going to drive south. If I'm in Melbourne, I'm going to drive north. If you don't know where you are right now, you haven't got a clue which direction you should be going. The question of where your school is right now is very dependent on who you ask. Where you think you are in your school's life cycle right now and how you're faring could be very, very different from the views of a parent or a teacher or a prospective parent or child. There's lots and lots of stakeholders in a school. You need to be asking all of those different people for their opinions for where you are, and also know what changes are likely to happen in your space over the next few years which are out of your control, that you need to be preparing for as you develop your brand identity. Key in this whole process as well is not just where you are, but where would those people like the school to be in the future? Are there things that are missing in the school right now that they would like? Now, develop your wish list. Create this picture of what would make that ideal school. Now, they may turn around and say, well, I want an Olympic-sized swimming pool and an Olympic track next door. Some things are not going to happen, but at least you're identifying that what in a perfect world your school could provide. You know what? There may be some means to where you can actually hire the facility somewhere else, and if it's important enough, it's a higher priority, at least you've got it on the list there to start with so that you can actually identify where you wish to take your school. Also, take a good look at how you're going to communicate your message. Say, traditionally, you've done that through parent meetings, newsletters, maybe even a newspaper advert. Take stock of all of the different mediums that are available to you to get your message out to them, and try and identify in each of those sections how you can best use them without blowing the bank account. What are you going to do when you actually get leads? You've used all of these different marketing avenues. You may have run an event in a shopping centre, put an advertisement in a school publication, social media, your own website itself. You're going to get inquiries. How are you managing those inquiries? Are you simply giving people a brochure and then saying, well, we'll wait to see if they come back? Or are you going to develop a database, what I would call a relationship database approach, so that you actually find as much as you possibly can out about that family so that you can communicate the good news stories, or even have a sales process or structure that you can take people through so that you actually keep them on board. You know, it's a bit like if you were fishing, it's just that teasing of the hook. As you get that little nibble, you're just going to keep it out there ready for when they want to bite and when they want to come on board with you. If we look at the big picture and ask the question, why do schools need marketing? I think we have to come to the realization that the world is a very, very different place. There's been objections to a lot of things that have gone over the years in recent times, where children's performances have been monitored, schools have been monitored against each other. Whether you agree with it or not, the fact of the matter is that parents now have information out there and they're looking for the best school for their child, and they have choice. You have to ask yourself the question, how important is it to bring the students into your school, and what are you prepared to pay to get those extra students in? What is the value to the school? Is it at the cost to the rest of the school, or is it something that say, no, it's just like buying writing paper and pencils, it's a school cost, we have to wear it because it's so important that we get our message out there. That's the decision you have to make. The thing to remember as well is there's a myriad of different ways to promote your school, and this is where the difference between marketing and advertising starts. The marketing strategy, the marketing plan is, what do you want to achieve? And then, having decided what that is, what the enrollment number is, and whether you're going to fall short of that and what you need to do to address that, then you have the advertising means. Okay? The marketing message can be, say, passed through things like, you know, your social media account, through your website, through your newsletter and things like that, which are, once set up, relatively low cost. Then if you look at the high end, which might look like cinema advertising, newspaper advertising, billboards, whatever it is, just be aware that there is significant room here for you to be creative as a community, to be creative and to say, what do we need to do? What low-cost items can we do in order to get our message out there? And get your parents to, on your P&C boards, let them realise that an extra 10 enrolments next year might mean that you can afford to employ an extra teacher or teacher aide, which will benefit their child. So it's in everybody's interest that the message gets out there, and what they can do, perhaps on a free basis, volunteering, handing out leaflets at a shopping centre or at an event. What can they do to help you to achieve the goals that ultimately will mean that their children get a better level of education or more one-on-one time with their teacher? That whole idea, by the way, of letting parents know the benefits to them is one way around getting around people who say we shouldn't be marketing. Look at it as raising the profile of your school, of promoting the values in your school. And as I say, if you can really address the benefits that it's going to mean to students who get more one-on-one time with their teachers, teachers who have more time to spend with their children, parents who obviously want the best for their children, the whole community benefits from the results of, call it marketing if you wish, otherwise the raising of the profile of your school, the raising of the brand, the image of your school has knock-on effects which become very personal, which is a better education for the most precious thing in most parents' lives. So there it is. It's one thing to actually know what needs to be done, it's quite another to actually implement it, and that's where we come in. Every school has the capability to do this themselves, okay? There'll be a learning curve, some will take longer than others. The question is, do you want to learn as you go? And if it takes a year or two to actually get it right, that's okay. Or do you want to make sure that you get it right absolutely first time, that you've got the expertise there, sitting next to you to actually put together your marketing strategy to achieve the goal, whatever it might be, an extra 30 enrolments next year. And I guess that's where we come in. You can employ somebody full-time on your staff, employing a consultancy service like ourselves. It's a lot easier to sack them. There's no unfair dismissal claim for anything like that. But the fact of the matter is, we've got the runs on the board. We can help you, and the way to start is just to give us a call. We'll have a 30-minute complimentary chat with you, and just give you an idea of what we can do for you to help improve your branding and get that marketing plan together for you.